news real, and we keep it real. My brother, my sister, very interesting things happening. And I would like to take this one, first and foremost, coming from my Joy Online. And it says, cattle and sheep easier to control than Nigerians. And this is coming from the president of Nigeria, the outgoing Buhari. I read, the outgoing Nigerian president, Muhammadu Bawumia, did I say Bawumia? Buhari, has claimed that he finds it easier to control his cattle and sheep than fellow Nigerians. Buhari has been president for the last 8 years and will today hand over to Bola Tinubu, the incoming president. And of course, this was published yesterday, so he's handed over already. Buhari said this during his speech at a pre-inauguration gala night on Sunday, where he expressed his desire to return to his hometown of Daura in Katsina State to focus on his farm animals. I am looking forward to tomorrow to fly to my base to go and meet my cattle and sheep, which are much easier to control than fellow Nigerians. But I have to reduce their number because I cannot save enough to buy them feeds. Daily Post quoted the president as saying, of course, what the president said, or better still, what the former president said, is nothing but the truth. Everywhere in the world, it is easier to control goats, cows, and sheep than to control human beings. All you need to do is to lock them up. That's all. You don't need more. And when it's time to feed them, you bring them the feed. Certainly the president has said nothing new. It is easier to control cattle and sheep. All you need is a stick. But in these times, human beings are becoming more and more complex. 419 is going on in Nigeria. They have done well by introducing Afrobeats to the world. And Afrobeats, my brother, my sister, has taken the attention of the 419. It looks like Ghana is becoming the new headquarters of 419. Recently, we saw British police collaborated with American police to pick up some of our citizens. When you read online, it looks like there are more Ghanaians now who are taking the baton of 419 from our fellow Africans, the Nigerians. Certainly, Nigeria is a very chaotic country to deal with. During the reign of Muhammadu Buhari, we saw how Nigerians were gunned down on the streets of Lagos and beyond. We saw how the whole world came to sympathize and empathize with this West African country. And Buhari told them to stay off because they did not understand exactly what was happening in his country. He will go down in history as a man who turned his own guns at his own people. Now, the only thing, my brother, my sister, that Buhari would not carry into retirement is corruption. We haven't heard that he's personally been corrupt. But if you preside over a nation that is corrupt, if you preside over a governance where your ministers are corrupt, then equally, you are also corrupt. How many people agree? It doesn't matter if Buhari himself was not corrupt. He was the supervisor of corruption in Nigeria. It's part of his legacy. And we still remember how Gordon Clown, my brother, my sister, said to him in his face, albeit in front of the lenses of a hidden camera, when he told the Queen of England at the time that, hey, one of the most corrupt presidents of the world is here. In fact, the most corrupt president. And his name is Muhammadu Buhari. We all remember when Buhari was interviewed about it, when the tape leaked. And he agreed that yes, the then prime minister was right. After all, he was presiding over a very corrupt nation. Nigeria is not an easy country to rule. It is the most populous country in Africa. It is the most sophisticated country in Africa. Nigeria has some of the most kind people. And at the same time, you would find some of the most bloodthirsty people right there. In fact, during the Biafran War, some Igbos ate human beings when they died because of hunger and also because of the war tactics used by the Nigerian government, unfair war tactics to remove and eradicate the Igbos. Today we remember Muhammadu Buhari, who has gone into retirement to take care of his sheep and goats. I hope that he will sit back and look at his tenure of office and will use that to advise his biggest fan, Tinubu, to Nigerians. Are you heaving a sigh of relief, or you are going to miss Buhari? He says it is easier to take care of his goats and his sheep than to take care of Nigerians. Of course, that is nothing new. We have said that already. Now is going to be a scar on the conscience of Buhari. How he turned his own guns at his own Nigerians, shot and killed them right in the middle of the streets of Lagos. It's going to be on the scar on the mind of Buhari. How he presided over the most populous nation in Africa, the richest in oil in Africa, yet there were constant dumso, light off, NEPA in that country. It's going to be yet another big scar on his conscience. How several of his ministers stole so much money at his blind side. To God be the glory. We cannot wait for Nana Akufo-Addo to leave, just like Buhari is going. And when Nana Akufo-Addo is leaving, oh my God, I don't know how many people will dance naked in Ghana. The arrogant president who listens to nobody. This is a lesson to you, Nana Akufo-Addo. When you are also going into yet another retirement, after officially retiring about 20 years ago, what would be on your conscience? Family and friends, arrogance, lies, dirty politics, stealing, corruption, and so on and so forth. I leave it here. To God be the glory. I'm reading this from my own treenews.com, the most authentic source of news online. And it says, Canada, Japan promises to prioritize local businesses. Says dominance of foreigners isn't helpful. I read, flag bearer hopeful of the new patriotic party NPP, Ken Ohini Ejapon, has said, in order to develop as a country, there must be deliberate policies to grow local businesses. Today he said, the commanding height of the Ghanaian economy has been given to foreigners, whether in the mining, oil and gas, housing, or even the retail sector. Non-Ghanaians play dominant roles, whilst Ghanaians play subservient roles within their own country, he said. Now, what Canada Japan has said is nothing but the truth. Canada Japan is passionate about Ghanaians taking over the business scene. But sometimes I look at him and I think that he is working in negation of his own thoughts, whims, and caprices. Should I say it again? Kennedy Japan is a man who supports local businesses. We know that. But sometimes, from his own actions, I am tempted to think that this is a man who is either confused or he deliberately doesn't mean what he says sometimes. I said sometimes. Now, this is a man who is so angry that he goes on the Spintex road and it's all about Syrians and Lebanese, taking over all the huge businesses, all the big businesses in Ghana. He runs night and day and he's not happy about it. Then I hear that he is building a cold store and he claims it's the biggest in West Africa. Or is it in the whole of Africa? We applaud you. Yet those who are building that cold store are Indians. Those who are building Kennedy Japan's cold store are Indians. Now the GRA goes to stop work at the cold store because of A, B, C, D, E, F. The Indians are told that they don't have the right papers to work in this country, and Kennedy Japan gets angry. How dare you, GRA, come to my cold store and stop work? Don't you know I spent a lot of money bringing in these Indians to work? Can Ghanaians not build cold stores? Ghanaians have no expertise to build cold stores. And this is the man who says he wants Ghanaians to control the local business. Am I making sense? Hear me now. He went to a hospital owned by Dr. Lita, or is it Lawyer Lita, the former husband of Oye Lita. And the hospital has people all the way from Sri Lanka working there. Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. Everybody in there, from the sweeper all the way down to who, from Sri Lanka. And Kennedy Japan comes out to say, that hospital has only foreigners in there. But the foreigners are doing very well. They are working very hard and making sure that the place is clean and beautiful. This is the man who wants locals to take over the big businesses in this country. Am I making sense? May I tackle one last issue and I'm done with Kennedy Japan. Now Kennedy Japan wants local businesses to rise in this country. He goes all over to Ibrahim Mahama and he patronizes Jata Cement. And we applaud him. Blah, 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 blah. The next moment, he's talking about the fact that cars should be imported into this country, even second-hand cars. If we don't do that, the ordinary Ghanaian would suffer. That's what he says. When the president says, from now we are going to assemble all our cars. We are not going to import second-hand cars into this country anymore. Kennedy Japan says, no, it doesn't make sense. Import all the cars from abroad and bring them in. How many cars can you manufacture in Ghana? This is going to kill Ghanaian businesses. Yet all those cars that are imported into this country are causing unemployment rather than the pseudo-employment that Kennedy Japan thinks. My brother, my sister, these are my reasons amidst more that I think that Kennedy Japan might truly have a good mind to support local businesses. But in my opinion, he needs education beyond the street knowledge. Sometimes when you are in the street, you are loud. He says he has no education. Fair enough. If you don't have formal education, doesn't mean that you cannot make it in life. But if you do make it in life, don't think that formal education is useless. And that is the mindset of Kennedy Japan. I mean, the man go school. Na school cry dieng. Sa school dieng yeshi. Na professors nyina mabako bimbra no oncha me say. Ono awoska. For him, money is everything. This is a very dangerous man. If a man thinks that his worth is only monetary, then he's a dangerous man. How can you surround yourself with a life that is nothing but just money? Remember what Bob Marley said. He said he is so poor that the only thing he has is money. Can I say it again? He is so poor that the only thing he has in life is just money. That's what Bob Marley said. So when a man just monetizes his life, his shoe is all about money, his life is all about money, then you know that we are in trouble. My brother, my sister, it is so sad. But deciding Ghanaians are going to look into this. Eric Mawena Egbeta, the pink socks wearing Egbeta, is in the house.